thing's a bomb.
In a crash, but yet the airbag just beat him to daylight.
What are they doing leaning on the steering wheel?
Well,
it's an eyesight thing?
Elderly drivers have a tendency when they're driving to hold very close to the steering wheel. They move their seat very far forward.
Yeah.
So in a lot of cases, they're only 12 inches or so away from the steering wheel, and when that airbag goes off, they get hammered.
Yeah.
So.
Well, but they can't turn theirs off unless they've got a permit.
Correct.
In a form, it says they got more kids.
Thanks to our government looking out for our safety, this is true.
That's right. So the average 65 to 75-year-old seasoned citizen is not going to be able to qualify for turning off the airbag anywhere in his or her car.
Yeah, the other big problem that I've got is I've got a 9-year-old, and if the two of us go out driving together, he's got to sit in the back seat to stay away from the airbag.
Well,
isn't exactly when you got your kid in the car and you've only got one child, you want him to be able to sit next to you.
Exactly.
And instead, the government says, no.
That's right.
For safety concerns, put him in the back.
Well,
this is ridiculous.
Freedom has its consequences. You have to understand that.
This is true.
Yes, it does.
That's why I have seatbelts for my son.
Thanks very much for the phone call, Steve. Appreciate it. Story out of Miami. Some of you are going to like this. The University of Miami is moving to help relieve what administrators say is a glut of lawyers competing for fewer jobs in the United States. You know, speaking of this, I was watching the news last night. And it's a story on the Terry Nichols trial out in Denver. And a TV anchor, the name doesn't matter. It really doesn't. The TV anchor promotes the story coming up in the next segment of the news by saying, warriors for Terry Nichols. I sat up at that. Warriors for Terry Nichols. Who are these Terry Nichols warriors? So I sat, really, my friends, I'm not kidding you. I sat through the commercial break and said, what the hell is this? Warriors for, and it was lawyers. The guy meant to say lawyers for Terry Nichols had done something in court yesterday. And I thought, maybe a militia has mobilized here or something. No, I am not kidding you. I'm not trying to crack a funny here. Warriors for Terry Nichols, blah, 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 blah. Michigan militia is on the march. Maybe they've had enough. Anyway, the hook worked. I hung in there. Anyway, the University of Miami is moving to help relieve what administrators say is a glut of warriors competing for fewer jobs in the United States. So beginning next fall, the University of Miami will cut admissions to its warrior school by 1/3. University administrators cite a national figure that shows that there are 1.24 warriors fighting for every job available in the warrior profession. They also note that there is one warrior in South Florida for every 210 residents. And I'll bet this warrior knows every one of them. Samuel Thompson, the University of Miami Law School dean, is planning to raise the quality of students accepted. Now, get this. Samuel Thompson, the dean of the University of Miami Law School, is planning to raise the quality of students accepted to the war school by admitting only the top 25% of applicants based on LSAT tests. Now, isn't this discriminatory? I mean, what are we going to do about the dumb law students? What are we going to do for them? Who's going to think of them? Who's going to open their doors for them? How do you do this in America today? How do you say that only the top 25% are going to get in? Isn't that discrimination? No, I don't know if we're going to pay the school to stop teaching these warriors. I don't know if there's federal funds or not are involved. They're just going to cut down. Speaking of warriors, I was watching or reading USA Today. I know I have this thing here. What did I do with this? It's darn it, I cut this out. I can't. Here it is. It was stuck to another piece of paper. This is from USA Today. Warriors who helped Florida win an $11.3 billion verdict from the tobacco industry have asked for a new judge to be appointed to hear their dispute over a claim for a $2.8 billion fee. Robert Montgomery of Palm Beach, in a motion, accused Circuit Judge Harold Cohen of bias for dismissing the claim without a hearing. Montgomery said that the fee is based on a 1994 contract in which Florida agreed to pay 25% of any judgment to the Warriors. Cohen called the $2.8 billion fee unconscionable, clearly excessive, so the Warriors are not sitting down. They want a new judge. And the University of Miami is going to only allow the top 25% of applicants based on LSAT tests to attend their Warrior school. You just wait till the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission gets hold of this. That won't stand. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more in just a second. Stay with us.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
About 6 months ago, the manufacturers of a product named Coldies called me. They wanted me to do commercials for the product. I said, what is it? They said it's a zinc lozenge that will actually reduce and shorten the effects of the common cold. And I said, well, I can't do a commercial for that until I know whether it works. So they sent me a bunch down. Well, there was a problem. I didn't have a cold. How was I going to test it? But I had a lot of people who were doing work in my home, my friends, who just happened miraculously to have a cold that day. So I said, would you guys try this? And they were eager to try. Nobody wants to have a cold. So they tried Coldies. And I asked them in about a week, did it make a difference? And they swore up and down that it made a difference. And they wanted to know what it was and where they could get more. Coldies lozenges are homeopathic. They are all natural. They are non-sedating, and they taste great. And you know what? They work. You want to reduce the time you've got a cold, get Coldies. Get Coldies at Walgreens, Kroger, Shopko, Meijer, Safeway, Rite Aid, and fine stores everywhere.
Introducing the world's first termite colony elimination system, Centricon by Dalenco. The revolutionary system that both monitors and baits to not only eliminate subterranean termites where they live, but acts like a termite alarm to ensure they never live there again. The Centricon colony elimination system is available only through an authorized pest control operator trained by Dalenco. In the eastern North Carolina area, call Griffin Exterminating Company Incorporated at 735-3928 for more information. Griffin Exterminating, your pest doctor. All their patients die.
Yeah, just one taste is all. That's all it takes.
And McCall's Barbecue and Seafood in Goldsboro. McCall's specializes in Oakwood cooked barbecue pork cooked daily. We do chicken and seafood the way you like it. Don't forget our famous country buffet every day from 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. We've got something special for everyone. Opening 11 to 9, 7 days a week. McCall's Barbecue and Seafood. Highway 70 East and 111 intersection Goldsboro, and now open in Morehead City and Highway 70 East.
Yeah, just one taste. All that it takes. That's all it takes.
Do you need to replace your inefficient heating system with a high-quality gas pack or heat pump? Then call New Hope Heating and Air, your Rheem dealer. Rheem heating and air units are tough and can take years of just about anything. To replace your inefficient air or heating system, just call New Hope Heating and Air, your Rheem dealer, and start enjoying the air of quality you get from a quiet Rheem heating, air conditioning, or heat pump unit. It's easy to get a Rheem unit for your home. Just call New Hope Heating and Air, a CP&L quality heat pump dealer, 778-3804.
Hi, this is Dr. Joy Brown. As the turn of the century approaches, the changes leading up to it affect all of us. Please join me weekday mornings starting at 9 as I talk with people just like you who present interesting situations which you may face at some time or another in your life. I discuss everything from relationships to attitudes and the day-to-day struggles we all encounter. Tune in to the Dr. Joy Brown program Monday through Friday, 9 to noon. Hear what everybody's talking about on 1150 WGBR.
We're back. Maharishi and El Rushbo, one lovable fuzzball package today. On the EIB Network, 800-282-2882. We're going to go back now and visit the story out of Dover, Delaware, where a teacher conducted a mock marriage ceremony which paired second-grade pupils, often of the same sex. Some parents have protested. One of the parents who didn't protest and whose name's in the story has called the program. Sandy Ward from Dover, Delaware. Glad you got through.
Oh, I am too. I'd like to just try to set some of the facts straight as I could, if I could, because the way you explain it is not nearly the way it happened.
Well, go ahead. I mean, I want to. We always want to get this right, and if I'm wrong, I'm a victim of the mainstream press's reporting on this.
Well, and unfortunately, that's what had happened. One family has had a complaint with this. They didn't go through the school district, didn't go through the teachers. They went directly to the press. The press got a hold of it, and it got turned into exactly how you described it today, by the same way, people just saying things that were not true. My daughter Jillian is in the class. She came home one day with an invitation and said, Mommy, you get to come to school. And I happened to look at it, and it said it was a wedding of friends. When I asked Jillian about it, now keep in mind that she's 7 years old.
Yeah,
She talked about they had read a reading series. They had a whole series. It was 4 or 5 stories about friendship, relationships, family. There was also a story about a little boy named Leon where his sister was getting married. And the teacher decided to do a little skit, if you will. And she's done this for 3 or 4 years now, called A Wedding of Friends. And each child, including my daughter, was told to pick a friend or a best friend that they had in the classroom that they liked to make friendship promises to. And my daughter, being a typical 7-year-old, picked another little girl, as did most of the children, if not all of the children in the class. So yes, they were girl, girl, and boy, boy, but that was their choice. I went to the wedding of friends that day, walked in. The teacher described to us the series of books that they had read, the purpose behind them, the lessons that they were learning about friendship, and said that the friends wanted to make promises to each other. So the children walked up. They made promises to each other such as, I promise to be kind to you. I promise to sit nicely next to you in the cafeteria. I promise to share school supplies with you. I promise not to say hurtful things to you. There were 4 or 5 things that they said. Actually, the teacher said them, and then the children said, I do. At the end, they had little friendship bands. And they exchanged them, and the teacher said, repeat after me, with this ring, I promise to be a good friend. And the children all said that. They were thrilled. They were excited. There's been a lot of bad publicity about this. There were no homosexual overtones at all, no innuendo, nothing. I mean, this is just absurd that people have gotten a hold of this and done this.
The parent here who is accused of doing this is Tiffany Kelty. She said that it condoned homosexuality, and she planned to teach her son Stephen at home. Do you know her?
Yes, I do. I've become very aware of her in this. Her son was in my daughter's 2nd grade class. She was not at the wedding. That is very important. None of her family was. She went into Mrs. Alton, said she did not want her child to participate. Mrs. Alton said nobody was being forced to, because there was another child who did not participate. Mr. Sneed's son, and he sat at the teacher's desk so that he could watch. He was just not comfortable with it. No,
but they actually had wedding rings or bands here, and would you go through that list of promises or vows that they took to one another?
They were friendship promises, and they were said that way. One of the ones that really sticks in my mind was she said, do you promise to sit nicely next to one another in the cafeteria? Do you promise to share? Do you promise to be kind? And there were a couple others, all in that same tone about friendship.
Now, you have, forget the homosexuality overtones here. You have no problem with this as part of the curriculum in the 2nd grade?
I absolutely do not. You can't forget that these are 7- and 8-year-olds. These are little kids. Their favorite thing is friends. Their favorite thing is doing role playing. Their favorite thing is having parents come into the classroom. And I think, I'll tell you what I found interesting. Yesterday I received in the mail a new Barbie that just came out.
Oh, I know. We're going to talk about... Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Now, this is a new Barbie in a wheelchair, which is just wonderful. But on the back, it says, included in this box are 2 friendship necklaces. And on the back, it talks about how Barbie and her 2 friends love to wear their friendship necklaces and how they love to spend time together and love each other just the way they are. You know, these are things that kids do. Friendship necklaces, friendship rings, friendship bracelets.
I know. They do it anyway. This is not what education is supposed to be.
I disagree with you. These children are there to learn a lot, and friendship is one of the most important things they can learn. You have to understand that Star Hill is a school with a very diverse population.
I know, but friendship is not the result of a pledge. It's the result of an evolving relationship over time that's built on trust and a number of things.
Which these children...
These are superficial pledges, if you ask me.
No, I disagree with you. These are children that spend 285 days a year together. She is bringing them together as friends, especially at the beginning of the year. And they're making a commitment to try. They've learned about friendship, and now we're going to try it, and now we're going to make a commitment.
Why do you need to make a commitment to be nice in the cafeteria? Shouldn't that be standard operating procedure?
When was the last time you were in a cafeteria of an elementary school? It is not standard. I'm sorry, there are too many parents out there who don't enforce that.
Well, but it's up to the administrators to enforce it. If you've got a rambunctious crowd at lunch hour, you simply go in there and punish the ones causing the trouble.
And what does that teach them? If you punish them, they don't learn anything. They go back and do it again, and they sneak.
No,
this way we're teaching them up front.
No, you discipline them by teaching them right and wrong. They're not old enough. They're not old enough.
We're doing it on a proactive basis. We're going to do it before the problem starts. You are teaching them how not to deal with real conflict when it comes up, because this is all superficial. They're not old enough or mature enough to make these kind of pledges and commitments. Okay, then you brought up a very good point. They're also not old enough or mature enough to know anything about homosexuality other than just little things that float around.
You know, I don't want to bring the homosexuality into this.
But you have to, because you brought it into it quite a bit earlier.
Well, because it's in the story. But I wasn't going to discuss that with you since you threw it out. But the thing about all of these are impressionable young skulls full of mush. And where you may not think that any of this stuff will take roots and have meanings in ways you don't comprehend later on, I do. I'm concerned that is a possibility, and that there are some things at work here that may not be apparent on the surface. Now, Sandy, hang on. I got a break here. We'll be back in just a second.
You're listening to the EIB Network. Have you ever heard a sweeter sound than the sound of a well-hit golf ball? Maybe it's the sound of the money going in the cash register of a golf course owner. The Renaissance Group is offering the opportunity of a lifetime with their new indoor virtual reality golf. Players can select 10 top PGA golf courses, 24 hours a day, rain or shine, and you pocket the greens fee. There's nothing to sell or stock, and you can be your own boss. Virtual reality golf is the wave of the future. If you're looking for a sound investment to add to your retirement income or to add to your present income, we urge you to call and inquire about this limited opportunity. Call and our representatives will rush you a portfolio and free video. There's a minimum investment of $39,500. Call 1-800-216-2562. But call now, today. 1-800-216-2562. You're never too old to own 10 PGA golf courses. 1-800-216-2562.
At Leith of Goldsboro, it's true. Price sells cars, and now during the month of November, you can't beat the savings at Leith of Goldsboro. Get any 1997 Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep, Eagle, Dodge, or Isuzu in stock for just $97 over invoice, and you keep any rebates. Leith is also giving away with each test drive a free Carolina Panther poster. And ask about the free U.S. cellular phone with your purchase. Just $97 over invoice on every 1997 model in stock at Leith of Goldsboro. Be sure to register for the free Carolina Panther football tickets from Leith of Goldsboro. Now more than ever, it's true. Price sells cars at Leith of Goldsboro. For the true dining experience, it's the Steak Barn in Goldsboro. Fantastic salad bar with fresh items prepared daily and choice ribeyes, regular or thick cut, cooked just the way you like them. Now with improved service, the Steak Barn will truly give you and your family an outing you'll enjoy. Planning for the holidays? They're now booking for Christmas parties. Hurry while space is still available. Call 734-3544 and enjoy your dining out more at the Steak Barn, 1324 West Grantham Street, Goldsboro.
Tonight, there's a barbecue dinner and rally at the National Guard Armory in Clinton, North Carolina. Senators Locke Faircloth and Jesse Helms will be there. The Clinton Armory is located on Industrial Drive off Highway 421 North. This evening at 6:30, meet Senator Faircloth and hear Senator Jesse Helms kick off the 1998 re-election campaign for Senator Locke Faircloth. Tickets are only $10 and are available at the door. That's the National Guard Armory, Clinton, North Carolina, tonight at 6:30 p.m. Paid for by Faircloth for Senate Committee.
Hello there, this is Bruce Williams. I'm a very lucky guy because each weeknight from 7 to 10, about 3 million of my closest friends and I get together. What do? We talk. We talk about our lives, our problems, and maybe a solution along the way. You know, we talk about business and money, but a whole bunch more. Hey, give that Sajak guy a rest. Sure, try me, the Bruce Williams Show. Weeknights from 7 to 10. We do it all here on Goldsboro's very own 1150 WGBR.
Dover, Delaware, want to give you the final word. Go ahead. You can respond.
Thank you. I would just really like to close by saying that the children had no idea about the homosexual part of this. It is the parents that have started this, and the parents that originally had the original complaint has done more to promote the homosexuality and plant the seed of homosexuality than anything that ever went on in that classroom. Mrs. Outen is an outstanding teacher. I have no problem with what happened, and if it were to happen again tomorrow, I would be there again with my child. It was a valuable lesson.
What happens if these vows don't hold? What if these friendships bust up in the 3rd grade? What are you going to do?
I think that's follow up with the teacher. I think that she will help to work that out. This is the beginning of a lesson.
No, Sandy, I love you. I'm glad you listened to the program, but I am stunned, I must admit.
Been wanting a garage? Let the helpful folks at Ace give you a hand. They have package sizes ranging from 16 by 22 to 24 by 32. Siding options including vinyl, treated T111 pine siding, or the new concrete siding with a 50-year warranty. Build it yourself or let Ace's builders handle it for you. Single, car, or double, Ace has the option you need, or the experienced sales staff can design to your specifications.
Ace Home Centers, quality you need, prices you like.
Hi, I'm Tom Carroll, the WGBR Morning Show, and coming up tomorrow morning, we've got another pair of tickets to give away to the North Carolina Symphony Holiday Pops, which is being performed at the Mount Olive College this Monday night at 7:30. And join us, too. We'll also give away another dozen delicious glazed donuts, and the WGBR Carolina's Turkey Shoot continues all tomorrow morning on the WGBR Morning Show with local news director Thomas Vick as well. Hear what everybody's talking about on 1150 WGBR.
First in Wayne County. Hear what everybody's talking about. 1150 WGBR Goldsboro.
NBC Radio News. The government has crafted regulations to respond to the over 80 deaths linked to airbags. Transportation Secretary Rodney Slater explained.
Consumers who fit into 4 at-risk categories can purchase a switch to turn on and off airbags as the need arises.
Slater's announcement comes after more than a year of debate over airbag safety, and not everyone's convinced the on-off switch will do the trick. Judy Stone of Advocates for Highway and Auto Safety says what's really needed are better airbags.
Airbags of the future are really much more sophisticated than they are now, and we believe that the auto manufacturers and the government really needs to push for this advanced airbag technology.
Of the 87 deaths blamed on airbags, most of the victims were children or small adults. Barring the installation of the switch, the government says keep kids in the back seat and make sure they buckle up. And Barbara Porter.
Mom, I can't do my math homework. I just don't get it. I'm no good at math. I hate math.
I've always considered myself a good mother, but when it came to my son Billy's math, I was at a loss. It wasn't that he didn't try, but he kept falling further behind and losing confidence. Then a friend told me about Math Made Easy videos. You can order any subject from basic arithmetic to fractions, percentages, algebra, even calculus. Concepts are simplified in an entertaining manner so that students enjoy learning at their own pace, at home. It's as easy as watching TV. Math Made Easy is so confident that they can improve your child's grades that they offer a 30-day no-risk money-back guarantee. Listen, end the frustration. Call Math Made Easy.
Call now 1-800-579-MATH for a free brochure on Math Made Easy videos. This school year, make sure your child stays ahead of the class. Call for free information. 1-800-579-MATH. 1-800-579-MATH.
If President Clinton asked me to do it today, I'd be on the way tomorrow.
Former President Jimmy Carter indicating a willingness to be a special U.S. envoy to Iraq to try and resolve the standoff over UN weapons inspectors that is now in its 3rd week. Carter spoke as President Clinton ordered more warplanes, 6 B-52 bombers and 6 F-117A stealth fighters to the Gulf region. An American U-2 plane, meantime, resumed its reconnaissance flight over Iraq for the first time since American weapons inspectors were booted out of Baghdad last week. And Iraq's deputy prime minister made a surprise visit to Russia, perhaps in search of guidance on the crisis. Reporter Eve Conant has details.
Tariq Aziz's trip to Russia was not announced in advance, and it came just days after the United States had asked Russia to assist in the crisis. The Iraqi embassy described the visit today as a one-day working trip aimed at clarifying Russia's stance on the standoff. Tariq Aziz has been visiting various countries to try and rally support for Iraq, as he believes the United States exercises too much control over the UN arms inspection teams.
Reports indicate Aziz took with him a letter from Saddam Hussein asking President Boris Yeltsin to intervene to produce a balanced political solution. At a news conference in New York, the FBI confirmed it's found no evidence TWA Flight 800 was brought down by a criminal act. James Kallstrom officially announcing he's closing that part of the probe after 16 months. 7 years after she was kidnapped from her home in California, Crystal Leanne Anzaldi turned up in Puerto Rico, distinguished by a smile and a birthmark.
It's nice to see one have a happy ending where you're not finding skeletal remains in the backwoods or something like that.
FBI investigator William Gore, the child was just learning to walk when she was abducted from her home. The woman who had claimed to be the girl's mother has been arrested and charged with kidnapping. On Wall Street at this hour, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 10. With NBC Radio News, I'm Barbara Porter.
Telcard needs you to take a minute of your time to tell you about the most exciting business opportunity of a lifetime and how you can get started. A business where there's no selling required, no debts to collect, no books to keep, absolutely no overhead, and the best part is it's an all-cash business. 800-791-0999. That's 1-800-791-0999. Find out how with a small investment you can earn possibly $500 a week or more, maybe a lot more, and work as little as 5 hours a week. Whether you're spinning your wheels, your present job, retired, or just need extra income, call 800-791-0999 to find out about this exciting opportunity in this explosive new industry and how you can get started. Imagine working 5 hours a week and possibly make $25,000 a year. You deserve the financial security you've always wanted. Get in on this ground floor opportunity that's about to explode on the American market. Timing is critical, so call 1-800-791-0999. That's 800-791-0999.
November is Truck Month at Snipes Ford in Goldsboro. 97 Ford trucks at factory invoice, and the customer gets any rebates. A 97 Ford F-150 4x2T regular cab starting from $19,026.60. A 97 F-50 Super Cab 4x4 Lariat priced from $25,784.60. And qualified customers can get 2.9% financing for 24 months. All remaining 97 Ford trucks at factory invoice. Ranger and F-Series bedliners only $99 during November. Truck Month at Snipes Ford, 321 East Ash Street, downtown Goldsboro.
Well, low pressure developing to our south tonight. Looks like it'll end up passing by to our south and east for the most part late tonight and tomorrow, so effects on most of our area should be fairly small. We'll see mostly sunny skies today. We'll turn a little warmer than yesterday with highs around 50 to 55. Tonight, skies will be partly cloudy. We'll have lows in the low to mid-30s. Then on Wednesday, sun mixed with clouds, with most of the clouds down towards south and east sections. Highs tomorrow warming a bit to around 53 to 58. I'm Mike Moss at the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Performing my job with flawless broadcast excellence, this is Rush Limbaugh on WGBR. Expressed by the host on this program make more sense than anything anybody else on the air says. The views expressed by the host on this program do all that because we dig deep for the truth. Rush Limbaugh, Maharishi, and the EIB Network, 800-282-2882. We have a lot of reaction coming in to the story out of Dover, Delaware, and in particular the call from Sandy Ward, who was very, I mean, she was great on the phone. I totally disagree with her take on this. And the homosexuality bit notwithstanding, throw that out. I still totally find this a little troubling, but I'm glad she called and undertook the opportunity to discuss it with us. I must tell you that Bill Bennett called during the break, and he said two things to me, and I want to pass them on to you. He said, Rush, why a wedding? Why does friendship require a wedding with rings or bands and whatever? He said in the not too distant past, these were just the rules of the school. You know, you don't throw your milk on somebody sitting next to you in the cafeteria. You don't have to go through a wedding ceremony with one person. Are you not pledging to the whole class that you're going to be nice to them, or are you just going to pledge to one person that you're going to be respectful and nice? He said these were just the rules of the school. And these were the rules, and if you disobey the rules, then you're going to get punished. We didn't go through all this business of having these commitments to one another in the second grade. He said, and why a wedding? And he asked me this question. He said, what do you do after a wedding? Of course, my mind was going all over the place trying to figure this one out. Because Bennett is a unique mind. I mean, when he asks you a question like this, you don't come to the most obvious conclusion. You shouldn't, because that's not where he's going to. Well, because that's exactly right, because what I was thinking is that what happens after a wedding is that the sex stops. But I didn't say that to him. No, you know what happens after a wedding? I said to him, well, you're consummated. He said, no. You kiss. The first thing you do after a wedding. Did any of these kids kiss each other? I don't know, Bill. I mean, I didn't ask her. Your parents were there. I have no clue. But it is a good point. Why a wedding? A wedding means something. A wedding is committing to one person. If these kids have been to weddings, they know that. Why is this now replacing the rules of the class? I got to get a call here quickly from Susan in Ridgewood, New Jersey, who has to leave soon to go pick up her kids from school. Susan, hi.
Gave all the history right there, huh? Well, Bill Bennett just stole some of my thunder.
He does that to a lot of us, you know that.
Yeah. Well, he has a great mind. Your first observation is probably the most important, in that none of this belongs in the school time. Kids do not need to be taught what they do naturally. Kids naturally develop friendships. Kids naturally learn how to, make friends. And the school time should be set aside for things that only they can learn in school, which is math and other subject areas. So that really was an important point. But secondly, to what Bennett said, and that's the term wedding. What this is doing is slowly cheapening, devaluing the word wedding. Forever, these kids, or slowly, they are going to associate the term wedding or marriage to friendships with other boys and girls, and it could be a very slow propaganda process that breaks down the traditional and sacred oaths that many of us, believe.
Well, let me say it could even be unintended. Let's grant them that. This could be totally unintended, but when we're talking about now same-sex marriage in the gay community, and you'd say to them, well, why? Well, it's two people who love each other. We ought to put any restrictions on it. What about three people who love each other? What about three brothers and two sisters who love each other? Should they all be able to marry each other? Well, where does it stop? It doesn't stop if this stuff gets cemented, as you're discussing here, in the second grade.
Exactly. And if this is happening in the second grade, imagine what they're doing in the third and fourth. I'm sure they just go on to more higher levels of friendship. But it equates, and again, it devalues the term wedding to being silly, kind of arbitrary promises that we make to our childhood friends. And I believe that that's a dangerous slope that could be occurring. And I would just, if I was that mother, I would be a little more suspicious of what's going on.
Yeah, turning friendship over to the school is a puzzling thing. I asked her, what happens if these vows fall apart? You know, the divorce rate's 50%. In America, they get married in the second grade, they pledge that they'll be nice in the cafeteria, whatever the things were. And let's say that, and this happens too, you fall out of friendship. You meet new people, especially 7th or 8th grade or years old. What happens when this pledge or the vow falls apart? She says, well, that's for the teacher to take up as another exercise. And I told her, I said, I love you, Sandy, but that stuns me.
Yeah, that could take up days and days of teaching time. And again, it doesn't belong in the classroom. And I just would reiterate that I think that if we allow our kids to associate anything with the term wedding, it cheapens it. And instead of something that's done in a church or a chapel, it's done in a classroom. It has long-term consequences that I'm not sure that mother was thinking about.
Okay, thanks, Sandy, very much. Or Susan, sorry. Now you get to go pick up the kids. How old are your kids?
Various 15, 13, and 8.
15, 13, and 8.
They keep me busy.
Yeah, I bet so. All right, thanks very much for the phone call. Great to hear from you. My friends, we have melting phone lines, people wishing to respond to this exciting topic, and we'll, of course, let all of you in on it who want in on it. But as you know, something as important as this needs an update theme. Always prepared am I at EIB. What's the name of the group? The name of the group is War. Eric Burden and his pockmarks.
Why can't we be friends? 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 I've seen you around for a long, long time.
You know, Eric Burden may not be with him in this song. Come to think of it.
When you drink my own wine, why can't we be friends? 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 I see you walking down in Chinatown. I call you, but you could not look around. Why can't we be friends? 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 I pay my money to the welfare line. I see you standing in it every time. Why can't we be friends? 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 The color of your skin don't matter to me.
Hey, let's get the CIA in here.
As long as we can live in harmony.
CIA's got to be in here somewhere. CIA hates friendships, has to undermine them, especially in Latin American countries.
I kinda like to be the president. Oh, yeah. So I can show you how your money's spent. Why can't we be friends? 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 Sometimes I don't speak right.
Sometimes?
But yet I know what I'm talking about. Why can't we be friends? 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 I know you're working for the CIA.
I knew it was in there.
They wouldn't have you in the mafia. Why can't we be friends? 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 Why can't we?
Back to the phones. Back to the phones we go. We're going to Manhattan, Kansas. Tammy, you're up next. Do you want to say something about all this?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up was I haven't heard anybody speak about the taxes. My money is going to have them teach these children how to have a marriage from friendship. You know, the homosexual, to me, doesn't have anything to do with it. It has to do with the fact that I've got two kids in school and the fact that they might be teaching my children something like that instead of teaching them the math and, like the lady before said, the science and everything else.
That's right, because if things don't work out, these kids aren't going to be able to read the divorce decree. We'll take a break and be back in a moment.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Listen, stop making excuses. Why haven't you called Telecard? Do you really want to make more money, an additional $25,000 to $35,000 a year or more, possibly a lot more, and only work 3 to 5 hours per week? We can show you the money. Call 800-791-0999. You can get involved in the most exciting business opportunity today. This is your own business with no selling required, no debts to collect, no complicated books to keep, and it's not multi-level marketing. With a very small investment, you can make $600 to $700 a week or more, maybe a lot more, working as little as 5 hours a week. If you want to need additional income for a better life, or if you're retired, we can show you the money. 800-791-0999. That's 1-800-791-0999. Don't spin your wheels. Stop the excuses. You can do it. You can change your life. Call now, 800-791-0999.
Vitamin E. Is it important? Well, more and more doctors recommend and take vitamin E to help reduce the risk of coronary heart disease, along with a healthy lifestyle of exercise, low-fat diets, not smoking, and regular medical checkups. Vitamin E isn't important, it's essential. If you're not getting enough in your diet, increase your daily intake of vitamin E with supplements and fortified foods. Vitamins, you can't live without them. A health message from Roche.
There's a whole new generation of automobiles out there, premium cutting-edge automobiles that somehow give balance to your traveling life. The challenge is, where do you buy your next one? Some would say shop the planet. Most would say buy from Scott Motor Company, Pontiac, Buick, GMC Truck in Goldsboro. Scott Motor Company brings you the new generation of sporty Pontiac Grand Ams, wide truck Grand Prix, and the sleek, newly designed Pontiac Firebird and powerful Trans Am. Or you may desire a touch of luxury from the new generation Buick. Whether you choose Century, LeSabre, Regal, Riviera, or Park Avenue, you can bet each one will exceed all of your expectations. At Scott Motor Company, you'll find premium trucks with GMC offering great utility vehicles like Jimmy, Yukon, and Suburban, and pickups, from the Sonoma V6 to the full-size Sierra with the most powerful V8 engine in its class. Come, test drive the new generation of automobiles today at Scott Motor Company, Pontiac, Buick, GMC Truck, located on Highway 70 Bypass in Goldsboro.
Water may be a contributor to lead toxicity in children. Houses built before the 1920s may have lead pipes, and some homes built in the 1950s have copper pipes soldered with lead. If you're unsure about the pipes in your home, let the cold water run a few minutes before using it for cooking or drinking. Use only cold water for cooking and buy a filter certified to remove lead. And get your child checked for lead toxicity at your doctor or the Wayne County Health Department. Call 731-1206.
Tonight, there's a barbecue dinner and rally at the National Guard Armory in Clinton, North Carolina. Senators Locke Faircloth and Jesse Helms will be there. The Clinton Armory is located on Industrial Drive off Highway 421 North. This evening at 6:30, meet Senator Faircloth and hear Senator Jesse Helms kick off the 1998 re-election campaign for Senator Locke Faircloth. Tickets are only $10 and are available at the door. That's the National Guard Armory, Clinton, North Carolina, tonight at 6:30 p.m. Paid for by Faircloth for Senate Committee.
WGBR.
The cutting edge of societal evolution. Rush Limbaugh at 1-800-282-2882. And is that ready to go? All right. Well, Bill Bennett wants to get in on this. Hello, Squire.
How are you, great one?
I'm doing pretty good. We've stirred up a hornet's nest here with this story out of Dover, Delaware.
Yeah, well, look, quite apart from the sexual aspect, I'll come back to that in a second, just as teaching ethics or values, it's a mistake. It mistakes a general obligation for a specific one. You have a general obligation to be respectful and kind and decent to everybody, not just to one person in the classroom. Right. If you do it this way, the way they do it in this classroom, and then the next day you're poking Jimmy's eye out, the teacher says, "What are you doing?" You say, "Well, I'm not married to Jimmy. I'm married to Tommy."
I'm trying not to laugh, Bill.
I'm sorry to over-philosophize.
No, it's right. No, I understand.
But I mean, what the teacher has to say, this isn't because of a special relationship between the two of you that you treat this person this well. It's because you're a human being. It's America. There's a classroom. Certain things are entitled to each other because of who we are.
It used to be the general rules. It used to be the rules of the school that you didn't throw milk in the cafeteria. Now you're only pledging not to throw milk on your whatever you're going to call whoever you've pledged to.
But see, this is very important because kids are literal. They're very literal-minded at this age. And they're not just mush, they're also mischievous and literal-minded. So, like I said to you earlier, if at the end of one ceremony one kid kisses another, saying that's what I've seen at a wedding, what's the teacher going to say? Oh, you shouldn't do that. What are the parents going to say? Well, they may be upset and may be rightfully upset. But the main problem here is that it suggests, you have an obligation to treat someone well because you are sort of specially committed to them. That's not why you have an obligation in marriage. Obligation is a special obligation.
You know, the thing that troubles me about this, and by the way, I want to say at the outset here that I do not intend anything that I say, and Bill is included in this, to be dumping on Sandy Ward. She had the guts to call and tell us what she thinks of this, and she has provided a forum for response. But without meaning any of this at her personally, explain to me, because this is not unique. I mean, this mock marriage ceremony may be unique to this classroom, but parents thinking that the schools should exert this kind of responsibility and power. Where's this coming from, and why are so many parents willing to let the schools take this over and try to redefine childhood, as it were?
Well, it's a lot of it is just progressive education and just a lot of wacky theories. As I've told parents, if it smells bad, if it sounds bad, if you don't quite think it's right, you're probably right and they're probably wrong. I'll tell you one of the problems here, Rush, is it's all this daggone role playing. It's this role playing and acting out and role playing, and this is what's made a mess of a lot of things in the school. Notice right from the start, the whole business of friendship here is reduced to a role playing exercise. But friendship is not about a role. Friendship is about, I think you and I can say this, is about something real that endures.
And it evolves.
That's right, and it takes time. It's not a quickie. It's not an instant thing. But this role-playing crud that we have had in the schools, I think, is one of the main reasons education's going down the tubes. What the teacher should say is, not because of roles, not because of make-believe, but because we are in this classroom and we're here together to learn, everybody's going to respect and adhere to certain rules, and here they are on the board or on the wall for everybody to adhere to, but not this role-playing, because kids don't then know the difference between that and make-believe. And since we're so confused, the worlds of make-believe and real, and this exercise contributes, kids are confused.
Well, that is, I think, right on the money. And I've heard a lot of people complain about the role-playing that goes on and how it's nothing more than escapism, really, in areas that you shouldn't need to escape. You needn't escape friendship. You needn't escape... and much of the role-playing is designed to help kids escape hardship, which, of course, is character building and life instructing.
Well, if you want to teach kids about friendship, give them 100 stories. We got books to teach them wonderful stories about friendship between Jonathan and David. I suppose that's in the Bible. Maybe that would be out, but there are lots of other wonderful stories of friendship.
Yeah, you're trying to impose your values on people there.
Yeah, I am. I guess there I go again. There he goes again. Anyway, delightful listening to you. Carry on.
Thanks
Save
much.
the Republic.
Yeah, thanks for the phone call, Bill Bennett from his bunker in Washington, D.C. Kate in Fairfield, It's the Kate, right? Kate in Fairfield, California?
Yes, that's correct.
It's the Kate, one of my old callers from my Sacramento days. How are you?
Dittos from soon-to-be Fazio-free country.
Isn't that great, too?
We're just thrilled out here. We're so excited. I called on the Sandy Ward thing, but Bill Bennett said it all. Every single lesson that's taught here, Rush, is bad. I'm not just the homosexual aspect, but the making and breaking of promises. I have 7 kids now. I'm up to 7.
Hey, wait, hold it.
Yeah.
The homosexual side here, because all that's going to do is
right,
just,
exactly.
It's going to provoke unnecessarily. What do you mean making and breaking of promises?
Well, I've got a 7-year-old right now. He promises things all the time, and the next day he's totally forgotten that he made that promise. And that's the way a 7-year-old is. I've gone through a lot of 7-year-olds. And the whole lesson here is make a promise today, break the promise tomorrow. I mean, 7-year-olds don't keep their promises. We're parents. We're here to train them and to raise them up and to teach them slowly, as you said, things evolve, to keep their promises and that kind of thing. But some teacher can't be on top of whether or not tomorrow, my son Paul hits his best friend Bradley in the cafeteria, which he will do. You see what I'm saying?
Even after committing to him?
Even after committing to him, and even after his friend has told him he'll buy him a Nintendo 64 for Christmas, This is the way they are. Every single lesson that was taught, and the thing that bothers me the worst is Sandy Ward seems to be a good mother, and she doesn't get it, and that's what concerns me. You see what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I know. I had the same reaction to her. I only wish she were still here. Mr. Snerdley, I'm sure we didn't get her phone number, did we? Well, she can try getting back through. It's going to be tough. But I hope she gets back through and is able to answer to some of this. I don't, you know, she's a mom out there. She's not the teacher. She's not the one who orchestrated the ceremony, and unfortunately it's her call that's causing people to respond to her, and I don't want her to think that she's being flogged personally here.
Right, and I don't either. And like I said, she seems to be a good mom, and she seems to care. She showed up at the classroom. She participated, and she doesn't see the harm that's being done here. And that, I think, concerns me more than anything else.
Well, Kate, you got 7 kids now?
I'm up to 7. I had number 7 in September, Rush.
Any of them named after me yet?
Not yet. I'm working on it. Number 8, I promise.
Just don't name any of them after Vic Fazio.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Kate, very much.
Good talking to you.
Great to talk to you too. Dayton, Ohio, and Kent. Hello. We'll get started with you here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
My main concern, if a child takes a vow, and like these are very impressionable children that don't know how to make that decision of knowing what a vow is involved, if something goes wrong, human nature, it's going to go wrong. And this vow could either be used against the child, or they're going to feel guilt because they've disobeyed a vow or gone against a vow. And just one quick point, I have a friend that I've had since the 1st grade. I have known all the way through high school, and I still keep in touch with today. Didn't require any vow.